And here we go, another draft pick here for the Green Bay Packers. Land a very interesting DB here. According to PFF College and a bunch of other sources, Green Bay is selecting DB Javon Bullard with the 58th overall selection in this year's NFL draft. Guys, this is a guy who played in the SEC for the Georgia Bulldogs. Great coach, well coached. This is a guy who knows how to play football at a high level. 0 touchdowns allowed in 2023 and 329 coverage snaps. A guy who could be a lockdown corner in the NFL if he has the right development. I think this is a good place for him to land as well. In this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about Javon Bullard. We're going to break down who he is, what he brings, and why he is a good selection here for the Green Bay Packers. Before we jump into the video, though, do me a big favor, hit the like button just so we can get this video out to more Packers fans around the world. But also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. It is free. It doesn't cost anything. And we will be covering the Green Bay Packers for the entirety of the offseason. Training camp, OTAs, rookie camp, mini camp, everything you can think of. We've got you guys covered. With that being said, let's talk a little bit about Javon Bullard. 5'10" and a half, right? That counts. 198 pounds. A guy who will eventually be an average starter. I think he is an average starter almost right away, but I think he could be a day one starter as well as a guy who can come in here and be really, really good for the Packers going forward. In terms of combine, was really, really good, with what he did do, right? Did a couple of things. 40-yard dash, 4.47, not bad at all. 1.5 10-yard split, not bad at all as well. In 2023, 56 tackles, a TFL, 2 interceptions, 5 breakups. Did miss 2 midseason games with an ankle injury, but other than that, played outstanding coverage. Again, didn't allow a touchdown in 2023. Now, this is a guy who, doesn't really look like he could be, a safety, or I think he can do a bunch of different things really well, but it looks like right away he can play with above average football intelligence and instincts. He's patient in reading and reacting to wide receivers' actions. He isn't a clean fit as a full-time nickel and might lack the length and range teams seek from a split safety, like I was saying earlier. Not really a safety type, not really a nickel type, but someone who can play in the boundaries a little bit. He can do a bunch of different things well. I think there is some development that needs to be done, but he's a good football player with field awareness teams are looking for. Like, you can't teach that field awareness. You just have those instincts, and this is a guy that has those, right? He's going to be a little bit tight with lateral movements, which will create some throwing windows and missed tackles from time to time, but his route recognition and angles of pursuit help him, stabilize his play. There will be some challenging matchups, but Georgia's provided the blueprint by playing him as a big nickel with run support and modest man cover duties. I think this is a good fit for him. In Green Bay, I think they really coach up their DBs well, and I think this is a guy who will turn into a really good corner at the NFL level in certain schemes. I don't think he's going to be a full-time starter, but I think he can be, again, with the right coaching. He's got route anticipation to shadow breaks from off man. He centers up and accelerates through targets as a tackler. I think this is a guy who can, play that big nickel, can come in, can blitz the quarterback, can make big time tackles, not afraid to lower his shoulder and make a big time play on a running back. And when you look at the Green Bay defense right now, you look at one thing specifically, this DB room. You bring in Xavier McKinney, you have Eric Stokes, the former first round pick. You bring in Edgerrin Cooper, a day one starter in the middle linebacker position. You still have Jair Alexander and Keyshawn Nixon. I think this is where he could play right here over Keyshawn Nixon, or maybe not over him right away, but as he develops, he could take one of these spots. Maybe you see him play a little bit of safety, but again, I think he has a lot of development to do in order to be that full-time player. But when you look at them from last season, I think they're getting better. They rank number 28 in interception percentage. I think Bullard can definitely help out in that category. I think he'd help out in run support as well, averaging 4.5 yards per carry, 28th in yards per game allowed on the running game, 24th in touchdowns. I mean, this team needed to get better. I think Bullard helps in the run game, but also a little bit in the pass game as well. I think he has the potential to be a really good player. Let me know what you guys think, though. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.